Then in the background you can see the city of Champhai. It's close to the border of Myanmar here in Mizoram. It's around 1,600 meters above sea level, and it's actually very nice and cold here. I can say that like last night, I think it's the first time in years I slept for 8 hours, more than 8 hours actually. It's a miracle. I don't think it's when the last time I had that much sleep, because it's just so nice here. It's cool and it's beautiful now. Yeah, now it's the day, so it's a bit more warm with the sun shining down. Beautiful rice fields down here below, and this town is very close to the Chin state, bordering the Chin state that's in Myanmar. Right, and this is Champhai in Mizoram. Exodus chapter 16, verse 22. On the sixth day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers each. And when all the leaders of the congregation came and told Moses, he said to them, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Tomorrow is a day of solemn rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you will bake, and boil what you will boil, and all that is left over lay aside to be kept till the morning." So here's the difference now, right? It's on the sixth day, they're gathering twice. Why do they need to gather twice? Because ultimately the next day is the Sabbath, when they're not supposed to work, right? So instead of 1 omer, 2 omers, after collecting all of that, they came to Moses, and then Moses explained to them that this is the commandment of the Lord, that the next day, the Sabbath, is a day of rest, right? Where they're not supposed to do anything. But yeah, and holy Sabbath. Now, holy doesn't understandably mean, again, it's without sin, because a day can't be without sin, right? A day is a day, but it's set apart. That is the word holy means, to be set apart. And so the next day is the Sabbath rest, and they need to bake, they need to boil, they need to do everything today, so they don't need to do it tomorrow. What is left over, they need to keep, and then they will be ultimately eat that the next day. Now, remember that the manna they collected before, they could only hold it for 1 day. I mean, they had to eat it all so the next morning nothing is left. But when it got to the Sabbath, then all of a sudden it lasted. We'll see that now. Verse 24. So the lady decided till the morning, as Moses commanded them, and it did not stink, and there were no worms in it. So unlike the other days, now they're keeping it till the next morning, and lo and behold, again, a miracle happens. No stinking, no worms. It's still perfect. So did they get long-lasting manna, right? The other days it was just natural milk, and then like in Russia call it the Tetra Pak milk. The long-lasting milk, that's not really milk anymore, right? Because it's been boiled and everything, so it will last long. Yeah, so the other days it didn't last, now it lasts. More natural the other days, less natural now. No, I mean, it's I'm just kidding you, because that's not ultimately what happened. It's God. Again, it's God is doing this, because in the other days the lesson was, right, you need to trust me every day, not collect a lot for a whole week, and then for the whole week basically you don't need to trust me, and then at the end of the week, maybe hopefully you will have, God will give again, and you will have enough food again, so to go for another week. No, every single day you need to trust me. But when it gets to the Sabbath, because the next day is a holy day, then what do you need to do? Trust me again that it will last this time. And you need, that day is not for you to not do anything, just rest. But it's a day where you're actually supposed to worship, to be reminded of the creation day, right? That God rested on the 7th day. And therefore you need to follow the example of your father, to rest on the 7th day, to be reminded that God is a creator, that God is the one giving. He's now giving you the food, like he gave to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, the whole garden. Here God is providing as well. Now sure, in the Garden of Eden the food would have been better than here, but yeah, tongue in the cheek I want to say, but they could not eat meat there, but here they can. But yeah, right, if we had never eaten meat, here in India there's lots of vegetarian restaurants, and you can make a lot without meat. So anyhow, they most likely would have just adapted to that. And they would not have known that what not eating meat is. But anyhow, these people therefore, so the next day, the Sabbath, holy day, set apart for God. These things they need to be reminded of, and so therefore they must not do anything. Verse 25, Moses said, "Eat it today, for today is the Sabbath to the Lord. Today you will not find it in the field." So the food is left over, the manna, and then Moses telling him, okay, now you need to eat that. You're not going to get sick, you're not going to get stomach cramps, you're not going to get diarrhea or anything like that. Don't worry, it's all perfect, it's all good. Eat it today because there's not going to be any in the field. Don't go out there and try and collect anything. Are they going again to listen to Moses? Verse 26. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, there will be none. So Moses says, so for 6 days, gather all of this. 7th day, there will be none. Why? Because it's the Sabbath. You're not supposed to, again, follow the example set to you by God. Verse 27, on the 7th day, some of the people went out together, but they found none. So what? Lo and behold, what did they do? Some people, not all, but some people, here they go, down into the field. Okay, trying to collect manna. Right now the rice harvest is on, people are harvesting rice down there, and when all is said and done, all the rice harvested, to then go out and try and find more, you're not going to find. I mean, you might find a little bit of rice that in the process of harvesting fell off kind of idea, but in general, no, you're not going to find. Right? And in this case, they were not supposed to go out. Moses tells them that there won't be any, but lo and behold, they still went out. I don't know why would they go out. They have enough food. Did they go as a test to? But ultimately, that's sin, right? They didn't follow Moses, what Moses told them. In other words, what God told them. They did it their way. Verse 28, and the Lord said to Moses, how long will you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? Right? So, how long will you refuse? God speaking to Moses and telling Moses, how long will you, who is Moses, refuse? But not you, just Moses. Moses didn't do that. All the people didn't do this. Some did. But God is speaking in general to all of them. How long will you keep on? Not listening, not following the commandments. That's a problem. It's always a problem. Right? It's like pastors preaching in church, for example, concerning, you are a sinner, you are a sinner, you are this, you are that. We are sinners. Pastors, we all are sinners, saved by the grace of God. And we must not forget it, like God addressing here. Paul spoke of that as well. Things he didn't do, but he speak as if, because he associated himself with the people. Right? And so therefore as well, a little bit lesson here, like how God's speaking to Moses. How long will you, in general, all of you, although not all, not listen? Because all of them, in some other way, were breaking the commandments. Maybe not all of them were going out that day to collect, but in other ways, they were breaking it. So how long? How long will this keep on? They don't deserve this food. They don't deserve then to get on the Monday, or the Sunday, because that would have been. They don't deserve on the 8th day to get any manna at all, because they're not following, not listening to God. But God, in His grace, is still going to give them. Praise God for that.